Hi. Um, Hi. I came out to the Metro Parks today to film, thinking maybe I could hike down to one of my favorite places where there's a creek and a little bit of beauty from nature. And this is beautiful, but this is really soupy. It's really soupy and muddy. So I'm committed to my plan, and we're gonna pick a word from the word box and talk about something. We're going to talk about something other than the mud, but I'm literally like squishy in the moist ground. It's like spongy and spring-like, I guess, very spring-like. So we're on our way to spring here in Northeast Ohio, but not quite yet. Let's pick a word and see what the word of the week will be, what kind of thoughts and inspiration we can carry forward as we transition from the winter to the warmer weather, let's hope. Or around here, it's been the yo-yo. It's been the yo-yo back and forth. So the word of the week this week is release. Release. And I don't know, I had to release some of my expectations to make this work, so maybe it's a pretty appropriate word. I think of releasing a little bit differently than letting go. Like, you know, when we let go of something, we have this assumption or implication that it's actually going to leave. Whereas when I think of releasing, I think of like loosening around it so that if it needs to leave, it does. But if it doesn't, it's there. Kind of like the opposite of release would be gripping or grasping. So let's take a hip opener, and let's take one that has some subtlety to it. Mostly because I can contain myself right here to my little yoga mat, lily pad. I'm going to suggest deer pose. So deer pose will have one shin parallel, in this case to the side of my mat, and the opposite knee into the arch of the foot. And already I can feel that there's a little bit of hip action available. It's an asana that can be taken forward folding. It's an asana that can be taken with a bit of a twist through the spine, a side fold. But I find that if I'm really connected to myself and I'm working with my breath, that seated upright has a lot to offer, and there's plenty to notice. Particularly if I'm thinking about releasing. So if I close my eyes and start to quiet into my breath, I might begin by releasing my jaw, like releasing the lower teeth from the upper teeth and letting the jaw hinge away from, the lower jaw hinge away from the upper jaw. It's a lot easier to feel when you're not talking. And then there can be quite a bit of release in the fingers. I can sit for a couple breaths and relax my fingers. Relax my palms. Relax my arms. And already I have a sensation that there's allowance, space around my day. The things that I've had on my to-do list can relax themselves and rest there. The worries or the expectations on my mind can, if I release my grasp on them, they can be in a neutral place, right? Rather than in a predetermined, in the grasp of my agenda. And then as the shoulders soften, I'm feeling like I'm heavier in the sit bones. And on this side, I have my right knee bent forward, my left externally rotated back. This side, I'm feeling the left sit bone starting to get a little bit heavier. And I can release my grip on the thigh bones and the hip sockets. I can use my mind's eye to travel into the depths of the pelvic bowl and to feel the nuance, the small muscle sensations, fiber by fiber, just releasing and relaxing. And there's a settling with that. There's a stillness that's available. When we grip and grasp, we pull up and away from the earth, so that sense of releasing, not so much letting go, but letting be. just letting it be is going to give me a feeling of settled, still. So I'm going to switch my legs in the opposite direction. Bring the left shin across, the right knee to the right, and the sensations are going to rock to the other side of my body. And it's fabulous that the right side is different than the left side. It's interesting, and I can bring my curiosity to that. And I can work with that idea that as I notice different things, the habit is to regrip and to tighten and to tense and to start to hold again. And so every time there's an exhale, it's a reminder, release, exhale, release. Let it be. Just let it be. There's a breath that I use that's called Buddha breath. And I enjoy Buddha breath for its reminder that the exhale has a bottom to it, an emptiness to it. So while I finish my last few moments in this shape, I'm going to use that Buddha breath. So I'll bring a deep breath in, and I'm going to exhale all my air out. And when I get to the bottom of the exhale, I'm just going to allow a couple little presses of the belly. So at the bottom of the exhale, and then Buddha, Buddha. Just empty, empty. It doesn't take much muscular pressure to squeeze that last little bit and release that last little bit of air out of the lungs. So breath in and out. Buddha, exhale more. Buddha, exhale more. You got the idea? Buddha, Buddha. Let it be. Release, release. Just enough hip opener. Just enough breath. Just enough little reminder from our word of the week to shift my inner energy and to bring some peace into the day. So releasing is a beautiful practice, and I hope that there were a couple thoughts, or at least one thought in there that will serve you this week. You carry it forward and see what happens. But namaste, many blessings to you. Gonna have to get my shoes on and splash over to turn the phone off. I need a tech crew, like a little camera crew. Happy Monday. Bye-bye.